live.
You got to be kidding me.
No, we're live.
No way.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm preparing, but I'm thinking.
What do you
this.
think the music was about? The music was a cue.
I thought you guys were playing around back there.
No.
You know, this is part 2 of our series that basically CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, is very similar to La Cosa Nostra, the mafia. And I just, as you guys know, I try to get into character before,
Yeah,
but
right.
I got to go change. I got to put a shirt on.
Too late. Yeah, we got to go. No, because we're live.
Hey, Tommy, you're not going to have time for that today, my
You
friend.
got to be kidding me.
No.
Could I leave my hat on or take that hat off? I got to take the hat off. How about a cigar?
You got to put the cigar away.
No cigar. Shirt?
You got.
Did you see the shirt? I'm
what's
getting
it-
into
yeah,
character.
What do you got?
Look what it
What
says.
Leave the guns, take the cannolis. Oh, from the Godfather.
One of those movies. Hey, when you deal with the Council on American Islamic Relations,
Yeah, exactly.
you're dealing with an organized crime syndicate. So I got into character a little bit for today. But I got clothes out there in the green room to change and do all that
Not
stuff.
too late. Too late.
All right. If we have to start the show, part 2, what's today? Today's the 17th.
Right.
October 17th, Friday, about a minute and a half, 6.5 minutes after 4 o'clock. Excuse my wardrobe. We didn't change. No makeup today, nothing. That's okay. We can do it, whatever it takes. We're here, part 2, folks, of our series, Enemies of the State. The enemy of the state we're talking about today is none other than the Council on American Islamic Relations, and in particular, its executive director out of the Washington branch, Nihad Awad. Our thesis is that Nihad Awad, born in Palestine, is a Palestinian. He is a terrorist. He runs a terrorist organization called CARE. Those are some pretty outrageous claims, Mr. Trento. Yeah, but we're going to present as we did yesterday, today. And I think, gentlemen, we may have to continue this expose every day.
Well, this is not just an expose. I mean, this is a multi-decade operation, a mafioso, and this is just the United States. We're not talking about overseas or anywhere else, but it's a multi-generational mafioso operation. I mean, it goes way, way back.
Okay, well, here's what we'll do. For the sake of our audience just tuning in on WSBR 740 AM, you see, if we were just on the radio, it doesn't matter that I have a cigar. It's a fake cigar to all the kiddies out there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how you dress, but we are a internet television show, and we're heard worldwide on iHeartRadio, WSBR 740 AM in South Florida. We're on theunitedwest.org internet television, and segments of the show will be rebroadcast on Breitbart TV. What we've decided to do is to do an expose on the Council on American Islamic Relations starting yesterday, because as we speak right now, an American hero, friend of ours, General Jerry Boykin, is speaking in Washington, the state of Washington. Jerry works in Washington, D.C. He traveled to Washington State, to the city of Van Stupit. Van Stupit, is that the right name?
Yes, exactly.
Or is
correct.
that the mayor's name, Mayor Stupid?
No, both they're
Okay.
synonymous. So.
Vancouver, Washington. General Jerry Boykin is an ordained minister. He was invited by a committee there to deliver the keynote speech at the prayer breakfast in Vancouver, Washington, today, the 17th of October, Friday. In fact, he's probably speaking right now. CARE launched an offensive to censor Boykin because Boykin has called out CARE as a terrorist organization and the jihad component. So we decided, okay, you want to play like that, that's fine. We're going to have to tell the folks a little bit about you guys. But we got so deeply, gentlemen, into the research.
Yeah.
Here's one little appellate case that CARE is the center of, unindicted co-conspirator, that we've decided to carry over our investigation and expose of the Council on American Islamic Relations every day for the duration of our show. Not the whole show. We'll do today's show on it. We'll do a segment each day. And if need be, if they raise their head on going after somebody, they went after Frank Gaffney, then we'll engage at that point because we're in a cultural battle with this terrorist organization. We presented a little bit of evidence yesterday. We're going to present more today. We have financial information for you to show de facto they're getting money from United Arab Emirates, from Saudi Arabia, from rich Middle Easterners. They're funneling it through different organizations, using it as they see fit. We got a lot for you today, but let's start the show out today, guys. Let's go back not too long ago, July 20th of this year, July 20th of 2014. There was going to be a CARE-sponsored Hamas rally on the street corner of 3rd and Biscayne Boulevard in Miami. This was the height of Operation Protective Edge, where the Israelis finally, after thousands of missiles being sent over, finally told the Palestinians in Gaza, the Hamas in particular, stop shooting missiles or we're going to
blow you up.
We're going to blow you up, you know. And Operation Protective Edge was launched, and immediately protests around the United States on street corners occurred. We sent one of our folks, Damon, down to record public event sponsored by CARE, one of the sponsors. Take a look at what happened on July 20th of this year.
What's going on? Who are these people? What are they saying? What does it mean? And why is CARE,
for what?
Council on American Islamic Relations, sponsoring a Hamas jihad rally in downtown Miami,
New background,
right across from the Israeli consulate? What is that all about?
And that's the question we had back then. What is that all about? And the question has been answered very clearly. CARE is the U.S. front group for the Hamas. And in our analysis yesterday and today, we've identified a little more unique, a little more specific component of the relationship between the Islamic Resistance Movement, that's the official English name of the Arabic Islamic Resistance Movement. And when you take the Arabic words and you do an acrostic, it becomes H-A-M-A-S. That's going to be important later on when we reverse that at a particular Philadelphia meeting, coy as they may be.
Sister Sama.
And you have the, oh man, let me take this. This could be very interesting.
What?
I am, hang on, cut my mic for a second.
Well, all right. Well, I'm going to go in and tell you.
I'm on the air live right now, but
well, I can't. Yeah.
Sir, what happened?
Right now, Tom Trento is on the phone with the
General Jerry
subject
Boykin.
of our two-day show.
I'm on the air live. Do you want to come on and give a report, or you want to just talk to me, or what? Yeah, we're live. We got your voice on.
Just put it next to your
Yeah,
microphone.
I'm going to bring you closer to the mic. You are live on the air right now. And we have General Jerry Boykin calling in from Vancouver, Washington, to give a report on his prayer breakfast. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, hey, Thomas, good to be with you and your audience there. And we just finished the mayor's prayer breakfast here in Vancouver, Washington. And first of all, there were no mayors there. All the mayors backed out, but they sold all the tickets, and it was a full capacity crowd there this morning. I went off of that incident, and I must tell you, Tom, my view is that we need to encourage CARE to go after us everywhere we speak, because it only took about 24 hours to fill the place up, sell all the tickets. So thanks to CARE, we had an absolute full house, not a ticket left.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Wow. The place was sold out, ladies and gentlemen. The Nonsense by CARE generated. It's one of these things banned in Boston. You know, Boykin is banned in Vancouver. We got to go buy tickets.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
Okay. All right. Well, that's tremendous. God bless you, sir, for your work. And we will be in touch. We'll talk to you a little later, okay?
Okay, Tom. Good being with you.
All
Thanks
right.
a lot.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was pretty
timely.
interesting. You
I don't know
know,
how you want me to fill that dead air. So
yeah, I know. My earplug got knocked out and everything. Unrehearsed, folks, unrehearsed.
Yeah, we're live. That's what
and-
happens with live.
But now he may have been a little hard because he was going through my super case on this phone.
Yeah, why don't you throw that case
I know,
away?
yeah, it's pretty
Seriously,
good. It is
that is the most dumb case.
It's a $100 case.
I mean, I used to love those life-proof cases, but the ones on the iPhone 4S, they are garbage.
but if you're oops, if you drop your phone, a lot.
well, yeah, it's great. It doesn't work as a phone.
It makes a great weapon and a lousy phone.
Yeah, exactly. So what he said, if it wasn't that clear coming through, he said that the mayor did not show up. That punk mayor.
Levitt.
Yeah.
Let's do. You got that guy queued up.
Yeah,
The
where is
reason
he?
why we're doing this expose
Punk Mayor.
on care.
Yeah, here. Yeah,
Reason why we're-
switch it. Is this it?
The reason why we're doing this expose on CARE, folks, is because they went after two American heroes, one of whom you just heard, General Jerry Boykin. And when we say American heroes, we're talking about guys that
Hero.
truly have distinguished themselves
Legendary.
in military service and then in public service. Jerry Boykin was going to speak out there. The punk mayor, Mayor Tim Levitt, we're going to show you a little bit of video from him in a second, boycotted the event. Now, this guy will travel around, knock on doors to pass initiatives in Vancouver for gay marriage and very controversial issues. But when a man of God who served his country comes and he's the host, and the man of God has called out Islamic jihadis, and if you know Jerry Boykin, he doesn't hate Muslims. It's the last thing on his mind.
Right.
In fact, he defended Muslims in war many times in
Right.
countries defending Muslim populations. That's pretty bizarre, isn't it?
Yes.
So we're doing this series, and here's the mayor who really should be ashamed of himself. That whole city should be ashamed of themselves.
Oh, you want to play it? Was that the cue to play?
Yeah, I think so.
Controversy tonight over the upcoming Clark County prayer breakfast. Vancouver's mayor was supposed to host it, but now says he won't go because of the keynote speaker. Tim Levitt says it's a great event honoring civic leaders, first responders, and those in the military, but he doesn't think this year's speaker brings a message that corresponds with the beliefs of Vancouver residents. Retired General Jerry Boykin had a distinguished 36-year career in the Army. In interviews and writings, Boykin says the war on terrorism is a Christian war against Satan, and that followers of Islam are under obligation to destroy our Constitution. Critics say his views are outlandishly inaccurate and inflammatory.
This organization should be looking for a speaker that is a uniter, not a divider, and somebody who embraces tolerance and inclusiveness. And as best I can tell, Lieutenant General Boykin doesn't.
Boykin argues that is part of the problem, what he calls a willful blindness in America to recognize the dangers of the Muslim Brotherhood and ignoring threats. The Council on American Islamic Relations urged mayors to drop him as a speaker. Organizers say they spoke directly with the about the content of his remarks and say he will focus on his personal faith while serving his country. That prayer breakfast is scheduled for Friday at the Vancouver.
And that prayer breakfast occurred. General Jerry Boykin just called us.
Just finished,
Damon,
yeah.
You're waving your hands over there. What do you got?
Yes. This is BJ Francisco.
Look. Leave
and
the mayor.
I'm just,
look,
I am
leave-
appalled.
Leave the mayor alone. Leave the mayor alone.
Well,
I think
this mayor came out canvassing for gay marriage.
Yes, he did. He did. But, that's very interesting because General Boykin works for the Family Research Center, and they have a position of the traditional family, and they oppose
I think that's the real reason he wanted to boycott. It had nothing to do with.
I think the Muslim thing was in there, too.
And
But all these lefties out on the left coast. Did you
Do
hear?
you think he might have came out there to set him up to do that? Actually, it might have been a setup.
Our focus is that guy right behind me there, Nihad Awad, and it is humorous that in order to be a mayor of one of these cities out on the left coast there, you have to have every politically correct platitude. Oh, we want a uniter, not a divider. We want to, all this nonsense.
You know what's so funny is every time we talk about this, the Red-Green Alliance, the Islamic hard left communism alliance. These people are so stupid. The Queers for Palestine and this and that. Look at how gays are treated in every majority Muslim country in the world.
Well,
you know where they all go to seek haven in the Middle East?
Israel.
Israel.
Of course.
Well, we just had a little discussion about not to sidetrack the whole subject, just a minute.
Yeah.
Is my wife's been on, talking with a Pakistani.
Don't get too descriptive.
Well, what I'm just
here.
saying is
Trying to protect him.
Yeah, and there's a lot of problem with homosexuality over there, and people are being killed, and she's working with groups over there trying to get them to help people who are gay.
A homosexual.
Yeah,
We're
gentleman's a
trying to help
homosexual,
him.
right?
And you're not trying to convert him or do anything like that. Just trying to help him because he's ostracized in his community and his family.
He
and,
risks
he needs
death.
some help.
Right.
Yeah.
And
You're risking your life over there. I mean, I'm sure everyone has seen the pictures of in Iran from them hanging from the crane.
Yep, at 22 minutes.
All right, we got to get to work. Let's cook us.
At 22. No, the points are good. 22 minutes. What we're going to do, we decided instead of jamming everything into the second show today,
right,
we're going to present it's sort of the Chinese water torture treatment for the Islamic.
Oh, that's racist.
What it is you're giving it to people in bites instead of trying to shove it down their throat. And if you understand this stuff in bites, you're just like, oh my God.
Well, it's 2 decades of stuff. You can't cover 2 decades of criminal activity of a criminal syndicate in 2 days.
Well, in our documentary on CARE, which we're putting together, the large movie, we're going to have to, but that's different because you can use theatrical tricks in Hollywood. Tom Trento here, 23 minutes after 4 o'clock on Friday. Is it Friday?
Yes.
Yes. No, you didn't even cue me up on that.
I wasn't even ready to start
I
the
can't
show.
even believe you're doing this to me.
I wasn't.
You're trying to,
I'm
throw
over
me
here,
a curveball here.
half dressed.
But you know what it is? It definitely
cigar went out.
It definitely is.
Oh my God! I kill you.
Oh God.
That was a little loud.
A little loud.
Yeah, you didn't have that.
Forgot to
cued
turn
in
the
too
volume down because the guy out in California was terrible as far as.
I am here. Fresh from Juma prayers.
He just got in. Abdullah, how are you?
I am fantastic, Trento.
Good.
Other than
Juma
I will
Freaky
listen to
Friday.
your show yesterday. I was not here, and I listened to your show yesterday, and I'm not very happy with the coverage that you're giving.
What?
At all, actually.
It is an expose on a terrorist organization. What's the big deal?
You're exposing my people. We're trying to keep these things out of the public view, so to speak.
You're trying to put a different Islamic hue on things.
We just do not like for you to bring up over 2 decades of crimes and hundreds of years of sentencing. It is embarrassing for us, and you know our honor and shame.
Yes. Yes.
Traditions, and you are shaming us, and we do not like this very much.
Well, the truth shames them, is what it is. The truth shames them.
You're offending my Muslim sensibilities.
All right, I don't apologize for that. And I don't hate you.
Yes.
I kill you, but I don't hate you. No, I don't hate you, Abdullah.
I know you do not hate. It would be much better if you were a nasty, hateful person.
Yes.
Because, like I said, Tom, you are my favorite infidel I have ever met. You're not hateful person.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
What does it take to persuade somebody like you? Are you persuaded by brute force, whoever's the strongest guy squeezing your neck? Okay, then I'll believe. Are you persuaded by money? If I give you a lot of money?
We like the money.
What about
We
facts?
like the money.
Do facts persuade you?
Facts mean very little to us.
All right, well, let's try something differently. If I can't persuade you on the facts, you hang in for a few days with us. We're going to present material establishing our thesis that Nihad Awad is a Palestinian terrorist running a terrorist organization handpicked by terrorists in a secret meeting in Philadelphia.
Everybody knows this, Tom.
Because it's not that big of a secret. Okay.
You're making it like
Like
you're
it's a big deal. He just doesn't call
Everybody
it terrorism.
knows that carries Hamas and that Nihad Awad was personally selected
Show's
by
over.
Musa Abu Marzouk.
Show's over.
Everybody knows this back home.
Now
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, see, that's what I like about.
He's an honest
He's an honest guy.
guy,
He
okay.
doesn't really hide what it's truly all about. And-
well, then what we'll have to do is do the show for the American
Yes.
nitwits. You know, my Christian evangelical friends who buy into the interfaith nonsense.
That
our
is
Jewish
so
friends, our Jewish friends that buy into the interfaith.
They are
we
so
all serve
stupid.
the same God. Oh. All right. Anyway, where are we on this Jumpin' Juma Freaky Friday?
I
We
don't
got a lot
know.
of stuff to
This
do.
thing is
All right, here's
going
what we're
all
gonna do.
over. Show's going all over the place here.
We showed the mayor. We showed a little video in the front where is Damon back yet? Damon, you back there?
I
someplace?
am here.
Yeah. Now we didn't show where you got.
And I did
attacked.
not let him in.
I saw that he got in. I didn't know he
Yeah.
snuck in. We showed the beginning of the July 20th Hamas rally that was sponsored by CARE, one of the sponsors. And we didn't show where you were threatened. And maybe we'll show that later on or next week. But that video is going all over the place. We probably should do an update.
You okay?
I don't think we can do it.
Well, no, the update.
Okay.
The update is
Not the real
that,
update.
When we put that video out that you saw just a little earlier, folks, and if you haven't seen it, you can go to theunitedwest.org, our website. The show's airing right now, 5 o'clock tonight. You can replay it. We air at 4 to 5 East Coast time. You can replay it. Look at the opening. Damon we didn't show the part where he was attacked, but you can find that on our YouTube channel, July 20th, 2000.
Yeah, Miami Hamas. Just do Miami Hamas. You'll find it.
And we went to the authorities, proper authorities, filed charges, and without getting into too many details, I think we're quite satisfied.
Quite satisfied.
Yeah, we're satisfied with
I'm
what occurred.
satisfied.
Yeah, we're satisfied.
I'm more than satisfied.
with the law enforcement, the law enforcement activity related to that situation. But I don't think we've mentioned this. Maybe we did. It has been publicized by other people that when we aired the connection between CARE as a sponsor and this Hamas rally, we are Hamas, we are Hamas, we started to get some letters from some CARE officials
Threatening.
saying, cease and desist, pull your video down, you better stop. We had nothing to do with that. Come on, guys, give us
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
apparently.
But and I want to get back to.
Wait,
and I
Mark, you're pretty good with graphics.
Yeah. Well,
Did you Photoshop CARE into that graphic?
No, that's the original flyer. Actually, it's got CARE, Amana, the ICNA, the Islamic Circle of North America, Student Justice for Palestine, the Syrian American Committee, and Amir, and a whole bunch of other little no-name groups. But what's interesting about this is the CARE Syrian American Committee connection. You always wonder what's going on in Syria, if CARE is involved in that. Absolutely, 1,000%. They're supporting what's happening in Syria, and that's the reason.
The moderate rebels.
The moderate rebels.
That is so funny.
Now, I would just want to bring up, and this is what confuses a lot of people, is why do these people put so much money and effort into starting all these Hamas protest rallies throughout the country? Is it simply just an ideological slant, or is there something else? And if you think about it, it is the something else is the driving factor, and that something else is money. If you look at the money these things generate, it is huge. War is a big, huge, profitable business for those over in Gaza because they control all the goods and services coming in over there, and anything that tries to go to humanitarian relief in Gaza, you get a little taste.
Well,
That's how Musa Abu Marzouk is a billionaire.
Musa Abu Marzouk, who's going to be a feature of our ongoing series here. Today we'll do a little bit with him. Is any of the UN money, any of the United Arab Emirates, Saudi, any of the rebuilding money, U.S. money, any of the money that's going to Gaza, is any of that not going to go through Marzouk's hands.
No.
Everything.
So-
Everything
so
goes to
billions of dollars are going to be managed by the gentleman on our screen right now, Musa Abu Marzouk, and Khalid Mishal,
Right.
who's the head of.
the other one. He's also worth another $2.5 billion. So
He's based in Qatar right now. These two gentlemen will manage billions of dollars coming in, and they take a little look.
They take
Leave
a
the
little
cana-
cut.
they get a little cut.
Leave
Little
the
cut.
gun, take the cannolis. I got, once we started this series, I got some, we have some properly placed people in some of these organizations that we expose.
Are you talking about the Pinky Ring organization?
No. We have a lot of people who provide information. Let's just put it that way.
Yes. Okay.
And got a unsubstantiated, I think it's a pretty good source, but
No, it's not-
but
it's-
interesting, very interesting. That I was told that some of the leaders like Nihad Awad and Omar Ahmed love the whole Godfather movies.
Oh, they do?
That whole thing, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Sopranos and all of that.
Oh, they should. They are.
And it's romantic to them that do they see themselves as those guys? Who knows? But they are big fans of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's all about honor. It's all about family. It's all about family pride. Made men. You only get in if you're the select few. You have
Dress
to work your way.
impeccably, all of
yeah,
that.
and it's all about power. It's all about being when you walk into the room. Everybody like, ooh, that's Omar Ahmed. He's the capo.
Yep.
You know?
And with the organized crime families, La Cosa Nostra, everybody knew these guys were a little dirty, but they tried to stay on the right side of the law for the most part. Many of them started legitimate businesses. And ironically, a good friend of ours, Raymond Ibrahim, has started a series. First day today at Front Page Magazine. Front Page Magazine, David Horowitz's publication. He started, no, not that now.
Oh.
That's not now. That's way later.
Oh.
No, take that.
No one on radio knows. Huh?
Yeah, nobody on radio.
No one knows. Back to business. Back to
We
business.
tease them. We have a surprise for you viewers out there. But Raymond Ibrahim has started a 3-part series comparing, of all things, Mark and Damon and everybody else, comparing, of all things, the Muslim world, Islamic world, to who?
The
mafia.
yeah.
The
Of course-
Italian Sicilian mafia. And his first article was out today.
And just to make the parallel real quick, the mafia is the Muslim Brotherhood. The whole organization, not just CARE, but the whole organization.
CARE is an affiliate, a subset of the Brotherhood. But Raymond Ibrahim has a 3-part series. First day today, October 17th, Friday, Front Page Magazine. Catch it. He takes, there, we have it up for you. He takes a very interesting sort of historic and theological slant. We're taking, we have 4 lines of evidence that we're presenting, folks. We have a legal basis for us calling Nihad Awad and CARE terrorist organizations. And let me get back to the threatening letters we got from CARE. Save yourself a lot of time, guys. It's going to be extremely difficult to threaten us and scare us. With lawsuits.
Yeah, it's stand in line.
Just as and we don't seek those kinds of fights. We're seeking to expose, but we're not going to back away from those kinds of fights. But more importantly, when you erroneously and improperly believe a tactic of yours, censoring Jerry Boykin, is going to have some sort of massive American effect, look at what really happened. He just called us up. A nitwit mayor with no spine quit. Looks like an ass now, as does CARE.
Yeah.
The place was sold out in 24 hours.
It was the best thing that could have happened.
I guarantee you, Jerry Boykin spoke from his heart about Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior, his personal relationship with God, his military work, all of that, and didn't say anything that anybody would find controversial other than people who don't like Christianity. So as Jerry said, Tom, CARE ought to protest all of our events.
I want to invite him, yeah.
So, if you want to...
Well, look at the event that happened up in Boston.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Another example of CARE protesting an event. Oh, don't go down to those haters up in Boston, and where they're all
For
speaking.
our viewers and listeners, we had on September 9th an Israel Security Summit at Rabbi John Hausman's synagogue in Stoughton, Massachusetts, right outside of Boston. We had 3 special guests: General Jerry Boykin, General Tom McInerney, and Station Chief CIA Gary Bernson. And the moderator was former Congressman, retired Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. And CARE protested that and tried to shut that down. Packed house, sold out, done. Man, we ought to cut a deal with CARE. Here's what we do. Whenever I speak
maybe we
anywhere,
get a little taste. Maybe we get a little taste of the action of
We have
CARE's.
to send
Nihad.
them invitations
Let me
to
talk-
everywhere you're going to be.
let me talk to Nihad. Now, everybody quiet. Nihad, come over here. Nihad,
zoom
come a
in
little
on-
closer.
okay,
Give me a little
okay.
closer to
Okay,
Nihad.
okay, I'll
Yeah,
get
Nihad,
close.
come here. You and me, bro. Come here. Assalamu alaikum. Listen, look, I'm going to speak a couple different places the next couple of weeks. Tell your boys to protest me, all right? And we don't charge money, but we'll start charging a fee to get in. Maybe we get a little taste of that. We don't have to do this donation thing.
Oh, we could use
You
it.
know,
Yeah.
maybe we follow the CARE model to raising
well,
money instead of being broke all the time.
You know, we know you're a made man. You're
Yeah,
a capo and
yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
All right, Nihad, you and me, we're tight, bro.
Tom, I do not think he likes you very much. I think
He's got
you're-
a sense of
I
humor.
think you are mistaken.
Don't you guys have a sense of humor?
What is
It's
sense of
banned. Humor is banned.
Not very much. We do not. That is a waste of time. Allah, Muhammad is not funny. Allah is not funny. We do. That is,
Nihad, you gotta take don't take yourself so seriously. Nobody else does, okay? So don't take yourself so seriously. All right, we have 4 points of evidence, ladies and gentlemen, to establish our thesis that CARE is a terrorist organization. And one of them is the legal component of evidence. And we've been laying out just little bits of the Holy Land. Yeah, the Holy Land trial started in 2007. Mistrial initially. The government tried to do too much. They were trying to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
Too much information. They edited down the case, refiled against 5 individuals that you will see in a little bit. And 6-week trial, all 5 found guilty. They appealed. Not only were the 5 found guilty, but something close to 300 individuals and organizations were listed as
co-conspirators.
Unindicted co-conspirators, UCCs. One of those unindicted co-conspirators is the organization that Nihad Awad runs, CARE National, out of Washington, D.C. So we have a legal component of evidence to substantiate our claim. CARE is a terrorist organization. We also have a political component. You saw a little piece of that in the beginning, where the Hamas was doing these rallies all over the United States, and there was an association with CARE. The nuance that we discovered is when CARE was started in 1994 in the U.S., that it was essentially going to be the Special Operations Division
Yes.
of Hamas USA. Hamas, and if you read the court record and you read the history, Hamas needed an organ here in the United States that could serve as, well, let me read from the documents, the court documents.
Well, they had the IAP, the Islamic Association for Palestine, which Nihad Awad was a PR director for before that with Marzouk. And Marzouk needed to start that organization.
Right.
And Marzouk is a specially designated global terrorist. Okay, so just keep this in mind when we're talking about these things, that there's a connection always back to a specially designated global terrorist who they hung out with regularly. So,
Yeah, and listen to this. This is some of the discussion that went on. Now, we're talking about the political component as a line of evidence. Our third line of evidence is going to be a financial component. We're going to show you a little, we're bringing on a subject matter expert in a few minutes to show you how CARE launders money, okay?
to Hamas.
To Hamas, yeah. Well, to all over the place.
Right.
But how they do that. We'll do that in a couple of minutes. We've got enough time in the show. It's only 40 after, 4 o'clock on the East Coast. And the ideological component has been represented not only in these documents, but in the documents found in Annandale at Ismail al-Barassi's home, the home of the Archives of the Muslim Brotherhood, where the project was found. These are documents establishing what the Brotherhood is going to do. Is CARE a Brotherhood entity, Muslim Brotherhood?
Well, al-Barassi, who actually had the documents, his wife was taking a picture of the bridge. A cop saw this a full hijab woman taking pictures of a bridge, just the bridge structure.
Right, exactly.
They arrested her, and they found al-Barassi, and they found this massive trove of documents, in his basement, in a secret basement. Now, also, it comes back later when they founded CARE
in 1994.
But at the meeting in 1993, al-Barassi sat right next to Nihad Awad and Omar Ahmed.
Right now, Nihad's going, no, he didn't. No,
yes, he did.
Oh, wait, on one of the days he did. Okay.
Yeah, and also he was convicted in Holy Land for 65 years in prison. No, I'm sorry, not this guy.
No,
he actually fled. He fled the country. I'm sorry.
al-Barassi
fled the country.
Is gone. He's being looked for. But look, folks, stick with the show. Tom Trento's your host here. Damon, Mark, Imam Abdullah, Mike, several others here with us today on WSBR radio. That's 740 on your dial. If you're driving, commercial radio out of South Florida, Boca Raton, Miami to North Palm Beach, iHeart Radio anywhere in the world. Every day, hook up iHeart Radio, put it on at 4 o'clock. If your boss is looking, stick an earplug in. You got to listen to the show. We throw out a bunch of stuff, but we're very good at synthesizing it and making the points and substantiating those points. So hang in there. Right now, I'm going to jump to the 1993 meeting. Catch the timeline. It's 1987, 88. The Hamas is organized, and their job is the Islamic resistance movement to defeat the Jews, throw them out of their own country, push them into the sea, and do it through jihad. Their charter says that. Bill Clinton comes along as the president. He says, I think I could bring peace to the Middle East. How was that?
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
That wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that wasn't bad for an Italian guy.
There we go. He has the secret meetings in Oslo, Norway. The Oslo Accords come out of that. And in our haste yesterday, I said that Simone Peres was on the lawn. It wasn't Simone Peres, obviously. It was Yitzhak Rabin. Yitzhak Rabin and Yasser Arafat shaking hands. I remember that picture. Nobody wanted to shake hands. Bill Clinton got them to shake hands. That was September 3rd, 1993. Don't miss this timeline. September 3rd, 1993. The head of the PLO, Yasser Arafat, dyed-in-the-wool billionaire terrorist, now is going to make peace with the Israelis. Can you imagine the Muslim Brotherhood, Hamas, Nihad Awad, Omar Ahmed, al-Barassi, Shaker Akur, all of these guys, they're going, what are you, out of your mind? We're fighting the Jews. Why did not the Muslim Brotherhood, to the audience, to the listeners, to the viewers, why did not, after the Oslo Accords, 93, where there was a possibility of peace, at least the prospect of peace, why did the Muslim Brotherhood not want peace?
Oh, that is very simple. Because we did not want to split Israel. We believe in an armed resistance, not a...
ideological reason.
Okay.
Granted, there's another reason.
Money.
If
there's peace, there's no money to be raised for violence and struggle. You got to understand this, people. There has to be chaos over there for them to run this operation.
Absolutely. Human nature is such that people are more prone to write a check in a crisis than in a time of stability. The Muslim Brotherhood has to keep a festering sore in Gaza to line the pockets of Marzouk and Nihad and all these other guys.
It has to keep
it's
there.
the way it works.
Why do you think there's 60? How many years, generations of refugees?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! And Chazi, the imam in Oklahoma City.
Yes.
I was reading an article about him where he did an interview, and he goes, "He's a third-generation refugee. He's been here since he was like a little kid, and he
lives
refers to himself as a third-generation refugee." I mean,
Folks.
what does that make me? My grandparents had to run from their houses from the Nazis in Europe. Do you think I consider myself a refugee?
But look,
It has to.
the dumb Muslims who write the $25 checks and the bigger checks hear that and they go, "Oh, he's a refugee." Understand, if you get nothing else out of this show, folks, it is essential for the Muslim Brotherhood and these very wealthy Muslim leaders to keep a festering sore in Gaza. If I'm not mistaken, in 2005 at Gush Katif, the Israelis pulled out, broke down settlements, homes, dragged Jews, 6,000 or 7,000, out of Gaza, people that have lived in that land who did not want to leave. Closed the gate, no Jews in Gaza, not an occupied land.
Judenrein.
Why do rockets still fly out of that place? Because the festering sore of Gaza lines the pockets of the Muslim Brotherhood leaders worldwide. That's one of the reasons why we're saying CARE is a terrorist organization.
Don't forget Quranic Jew hatred. I think
That's the ideological
yes,
part.
please, do not make this all about the money.
Yeah,
But if these guys lost money fighting the ideological
Ideologically, they
battle,
wouldn't be doing it.
real quickly, they'll be going, I think I'm going to work on my
jihad
case.
pays. That's
Jihad pays.
The
Now
jihad
watch this.
business is booming.
Here's a little piece of evidence. Now, we have this is a pretty radical claim that Nihad Awad is a terrorist.
Well,
Well,
okay.
come on. Not to us.
not
But
to us.
That's a rhetorical thing. I'm making believe it's a radical claim. We all
No,
know
it's not a radical. It's
Okay.
about like calling.
All right.
I think Jeffrey Dahmer is a murderer. No, that's about what you're saying. He's a capo.
Well, we still
He's
have
a
the
capo.
obligation to present something to substantiate our claims, or otherwise we won't be taken.
I tell you what, is Giovanni and Al Capone, are all those people?
We're going to get to them.
No,
I want to get to them for the end of the show because we have to. I get
all
the
right,
shit.
okay.
All right, I got to read this right now. All right, here we go, folks. Should we take him into our private meeting? Private secret. Actually, it wasn't a secret meeting. It was secret in the sense of the nature of the meeting. And it was private in the sense they had to be invited. But it was in a public place.
It was in
Marriott.
the Courtyard Marriott.
Courtyard Marriott in Philadelphia. And
they were really concerned in the documents about, well, what if people come around?
I'm going to read that.
I'm setting you up, Tom.
I'm going to read that. Let me read you the exact words that were spoken by Omar Ahmed. Now, whenever you hear Omar Ahmed, think of a leash attached to Nihad Awad, because wherever Omar Ahmed went, Nihad Awad came.
He was his maid man.
We have the mentor, Omar Ahmed, and the protege, Nihad Awad. So they had a very close relationship for many, many reasons. And he was in training to be one of the executives of one of these Muslim Brotherhood. Nihad was. Well, here we're listening to the exact words spoken by Omar Ahmed. Why? Because the FBI
had a wiretap on.
had little microphones hidden all over the
Little bugs
place.
running around the place.
And throughout the conference, the attendees debate whether they should form a new organization.
Right.
That's commentary. The topic is first broached by Omar Ahmed, who brings, this is commentary, the subject up in an effort to, quote, dispel a myth. As he states, quote, there is a rumor being circulated with some people that people would like to form an alternate organization in place of the Islamic Association for Palestine and the fund, at that point, Occupied Land Fund and Holy Land Fund, and stuff. This is not true, says Omar Ahmed. There was a misunderstanding, his exact words. There are no alternative organizations. Then commentary. Providing more detail, Ahmed reveals that, quote, a suggestion was made by a Jordanian person to start an alternative, meaning that many want the organization to form a solidarity committee for the Palestinian people, and the other organizations would dissolve within it in 2 years. It was suggested by whom? By 1 or 2 people, close quote. So there's discussion, how are we going to construct and configure the organizations to raise money, because this is 1993, October 1, 2, 3.
Right.
The Holy Land Foundation trial, the Holy Land was originally Occupied Land Fund,
Watch your hand.
is years away. So now Omar Ahmed says, despite Ahmed's attempt to downplay the rumor, the matter gains traction with the group as Shuki Abu Baker. Abu Baker's a big guy.
Hold on. Abu Baker is actually a convicted terrorist. I'm sorry to want to jump in, but he's actually a convicted terrorist in the Holy Land Foundation trial, serving 65 years in prison for being a terrorist.
It's 1993. In 2008, he gets convicted. So 15 years
later,
after Abu Baker argues that the current organizations may be too Islamic. He says, guys, if we're going to run front organizations, we can't have these real Islamic. Abu Baker says to the attendees, quote, our brother is telling you, let's not hoist a large Islamic flag and let's not be barbaric talking. We will remain a front so that if the thing happens, we will benefit from the new happenings instead of having all of our organizations classified and exposed, close quote.
Right.
Which is what we're doing now. This was 15 years ago.
Nothing to see here, folks.
This came out in 2008, but most Americans don't even know this. Now, watch this. Expanding about his concerns about becoming too Islamic, Abu Baker says, quote, I was telling our brother Abu Hassan, who is Ashkar,
who is actually, I'm sorry to interrupt.
In jail, but got to move fast.
But real quick, Ashkar is Abu Marzouk's, that designated global terrorist, right-hand money man. He's his financer.
And Ashkar is in jail right now.
Right.
I was telling our brother Ashkar about Al-Aqsa organization. Why Al-Aqsa Educational? When you go to Oxford, will they ask you, sir, what is Aqsa? Make it Palestinian General Education Academy. So they had a conversation at the Courtyard in Philadelphia, Courtyard Marriott. Nihad Awad was in the room, and they said, why are we calling it Al-Aqsa, which is the mosque on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem? Why are we calling it that? That's so scary to people.
It gives it away.
Let's call it the Palestinian General Education Academy. Make yourself a big name like that and give it a media twinkle. There's no need for Al-Aqsa, Al-Quds, or Al-Shaka, all that stuff. That's what they said. Make yourself a big name, and we don't have to hide and worry about our little Muslim stuff.
What sounds better than care?
Now listen to this. This is the money shot. Abu Baker predicts that they will be, quote, unable to work because all of us have become burned. All of our organizations are purely Islamic organizations. Thus, he believes, quote, we should start right now. Begin thinking about establishing. We did a drum roll right now because here's where Nihad Awad, the subject of our expose right now, comes into play. Abu Baker, key guy, in jail right now for terrorism.
65 years for
65 years. There he is on the screen. He says, we're all burned. All of our organizations are purely Islamic organizations, October 1993. Thus, he says, we should start right now, begin thinking about establishing an alternative organizations whose Islamic, let me say it, whose Islamic hue is not very conspicuous. On that point, I want to go to Nihad Awad. He was selected in this meeting, folks, 1993, in Philadelphia, because his Islamic hue in 1993 was not that conspicuous. And they had to form an organization whose Islamic hue was not that conspicuous. They explored and experimented with many names. The name they finally chose had America in it.
Right.
The Council First on American Islamic Relations.
Right.
No Islamic hue. Together with the United States, there is. Let's put the gentleman up, Nihad Awad, and I just want to go through very quickly, and we'll put up Monday in detail what we're doing. He comes up, Nihad Awad, and at this meeting was this individual. Actually, the organizer of the meeting was Marzuk. Let's take a look to
No,
see.
no, Marzuk, the organizer, the architect of the meeting.
The architect was
just say-
Marzuk.
Great.
Let's put him up.
Okay.
All right, now we have, because we're going to go then to me in a meeting, and we're going to make the
Okay.
comparison. We got about 3 minutes to do it.
Okay.
So here, it's coming up on the screen for our listeners at 55 minutes after the hour, 55 minutes after 4 o'clock. You got Tom Trento here. Not that, the master slide for Nihad Awad that brings in all the little heads, all the members of the Philadelphia meeting.
Yeah, okay.
We're
All of
bringing in that. And our point right now, we're going to show that in this meeting where they needed to handpick, these are Muslim, Islamic, Palestinian terrorists in this meeting, because many of these folks are in jail right now for being Muslim, Islamic, Palestinian terrorists. They handpicked an individual by the name of Nihad Awad to run a yet-to-be created. All right, I wanted to bring him in one at a time. Let's just.
But these are all of them. You said you're in a hurry. I thought you wanted all of them.
Hey, we're trying to get through a radio show here, and you're worried about one at a time?
Well, we had a nice slide where they pop in with me not on the screen, but that's okay.
Oh, well, we can do that. I didn't know that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
Did you-
We'll make it
you're gonna
dramatic
try to-
for our viewing
okay,
audience.
okay,
Our
okay.
listeners.
Well, you're
we
losing
are-
the listening audience with all that.
They're hanging in.
They're
love
hanging in there.
listening
Okay, go
to
ahead.
For our viewers, we have Nihad Awad, and well, leave it like that. I'll just go through this, but it's hard to see. We have Marzuk, the architect of the meeting, next to. He wasn't at the meeting,
No,
but he
he's the
put it together
architect.
and he funneled 15 grand for the meeting to happen. Then we have who's next?
We have Geishan Alashi. He was at 65 years.
He was at the meeting. He's in jail now for 65 years. Next, we have
Fugitive Ishmael El-Barassi, the bridge guy.
I'll say it, so we got to move fast.
Okay.
El-Barassi, he's on the run, fugitive. Then also in the Philadelphia meeting was Omar Ahmed. He was the chairman of CARE when when the FBI split with CARE 2008. He quit and he went somewhere else, but he was at the meeting. Next, we have Abdul Qadir. He is doing 20 years. He was at the meeting with Nihad Awad where they were going to pick somebody and come up with a new organization. Then we have Abu Baker. He was at the meeting. He's the one who said we need an Islamic Q, we need a new organization. He's doing 65 years. Then we have Ashkar. He was at the meeting. He's convicted. This is hysterical. He's doing 11 years. Who else? Do we have anybody else there?
Well, yeah, we have actually, there's 27 other planners and meetings who are board members, or either board members, officers, or of a terrorist organization, convicted terrorist, and or members of Hamas.
Okay, now here's the beauty of this, folks. Now, we're gonna illustrate this in a unique way. Nihad Awad goes around the country representing CARE, going after Jerry Boykin and Frank Gaffney, saying that he represents civil rights of everyone and all
That
this
is
nonsense.
so funny.
He's in the middle of this with all these convicted people, and he knows nothing. That would be comparable to this. Take a look at me in my Miami meeting. Here I am in my Miami meeting. If you remember in 1957 at Appalachian, the La Cosa Nostra had a little get-together in 1957, and they brought many of the heads of the Sicilian mafiosa together. And that's the Appalachian farmhouse that they were at.
Right.
But we just have illustrative gangsters. Here's Al Capone. We got Vito Genovese there. We got Joe Colombo, Sam Giancana, Lucky Luciano, Tony Accardo, John Gotti, and then we have me in the middle of it. If you believe that Nihad Awad sat through 3 days with all of these Muslim mafioso gangsters, then you can believe I could sit in a meeting with Al Capone, Frank Nitti should be up there, Lucky Luciano, Tony Pro from New Jersey, all these guys for 3 days.
But not just
Wait a minute. Planning a new organization, and they're handpicking Tom Trento to run their new Italian-American Council on Relations. And I, Tom Trento, know nothing about anything that went on and have nothing to do with anything that any of these guys know anywhere.
I don't know nothing.
I don't know nothing.
Put that cigar in your mouth.
I
and
don't know
smoke
nothing,
it.
Tommy.
Put
I don't know
that cigar
nothing.
in your mouth.
Tommy,
and smoke it.
you
Unfriggin'
just hate
believable.
Italians, Tommy.
All
You
right.
hate
Well,
Italians.
that's our show for today. We enjoyed being with you. You know, when you could make jihad fun to some extent and do a little
Oh,
education.
jihad is always fun.
When you can teach people critically important information and make them smile, even the guys over at CARE, yeah, they're smiling, then life goes a little better. Thank you very much. Monday, we're going to have a special guest, I think a unique movie on free speech, and we're going to continue with our expose of CARE, a terrorist organization. I'll see you.